how you look at things or view them in light of the experiences of your life determines your perception and reception of what happens to you. How you consider, the way you consider what you experience when you experience what you go through controls how you respond. When we look at this text, Paul, who's writing to the Roman church, is trying to get them to understand and view and look at their experience, what they have been through, and put what they are going through in the right perspective. Paul here in Romans is very clear about something, that life will have its share of suffering. And all people will have their share of suffering, and they will have to experience some suffering in this life. And I'm sharing this with you that you would not be caught off guard or surprised when life brings suffering your way. Matter of fact, I want you to already be prepared and aware that suffering is going to happen in your life, but it doesn't have to catch you off guard. Let me tell you, the good suffer and the bad suffer, because sometimes the good have to suffer for the bad. The rich suffer and the poor suffer. The difference is the rich suffer with money and the poor suffer broke. Old suffer and young suffer. The old suffer with getting old and wanting to be young again, and the young suffer with being old enough to do what they want to do. And the truth be told, even no matter how old you get in life, you will still have to do what people tell you to do in this life. It's still some suffering you're going to have to go through. When all the suffering existed, Paul says something has him considering even the suffering of this present time is not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. So that we are clear, we will all suffer. But to the level or degree we suffer is up to what we allow to get to us. When Paul says he reckons or considers, Paul is stating that when he calculates and thinks over or takes in account what he's already been through, there is something about those things that cause him to have hope in the present. And that's why I want to tag for this sermon, Hope Helped Me. The truth about it is that Paul is saying that the sufferings of this present time are not worth being compared to the glory that will be revealed. He's actually saying that there's some hope that something better is ahead. Hope has helped me. Now, when he talks about this suffering, we have to realize the first component. When he says, I reckon, I considered, I thought this thing over. A troubled past can help you have a present hope. I'll say that again. A troubled past can help you have a present hope. See, because if you consider what you have gone through, that you got through, then your hope in the present is there is a great possibility in the present to get through this suffering right now with hope because of what I've already been through. Paul then goes on to share that he considers that the suffering of this present time is not worth comparing to what is coming ahead. See, basically, he says, do not take in account that the present suffering will have any bearing on what's to take place beyond the present moment of what you're going through, or will have any issues that you would have to deal with for your future future based on your present. That's what he's saying. So look at what Jesus says for you to understand this. In Matthew 6:34, he says, so don't worry about tomorrow. For tomorrow will bring its own worries. That's what Jesus said. That's what he said. And so what Paul is trying to get them to understand is that they can be very much in the present and deal with the trouble in the present, but the present trouble is giving light to the hope that's coming ahead, and the things that God has in store for them ahead. That the present suffering will have no bearing on what's going to take place, that God's going to bless you with along the road of life that you're going to walk into. So he says, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Deal with the present. See, today's trouble is enough for today. So please don't add worry to your worry. Before you know it, you will start worrying about worrying itself. You know, there's just stuff in life you cannot do anything about. There's just stuff in life you can't do nothing about. I made up in my mind that I'm done worrying about stuff I can't change. I'm done worrying about stuff I can't fix. I'm done worrying about stuff that's above my pay grade. They don't pay me enough to worry about some of this stuff. I'm done worrying about those things. I'm going to do what I can do, how I can do it, when I can do it, where I can do it, and whatever I can, I'll keep it moving and let God be God, because I surely don't want God's job. Now, maybe there's somebody else that's like me. Stop stressing yourself out about people, personalities, and personas. People will change. Personalities are schizophrenic, and personas are opinions. Stop stressing yourself out about perceptions, peculiars, and pressures, because perceptions all have exceptions, and particularities all have parts and pieces, and you're no puzzle to be put together, and pressure will only push the best out of you. Stop stressing. So that leads me to my point too. That when you realize that you shouldn't stress about some things, understand that suffering has a time limit. Look at what he says. Paul says the suffering of this present time. In present time, the suffering is only but for a time period. Suffering is for this present time. In the present time, I have hope for better times, because suffering is only for this present time. I'm not worried about tomorrow, but I'm going to deal with the present time that I have to face. See, you can't live in the past and be alive in the present. Somebody will catch that after a while. Let go of the what ifs and live in the if I of life. It's okay to struggle with suffering of the present, but soon the present will be the past, and your hope for future will be your present. So my prayer for you is that you would see what you say, because life and death are in the power of the tongue. But then it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But then it says, delight yourself in the Lord, and the Lord will give you the desires of your heart. I hope you see what you say. Suffering of the present time is just temporary. It's just seasonal. There's going to be a time change. So every day, every hour, every minute, every second should be a moment for you to praise God that the time is still changing and the clock is still ticking, and that you're not in the past, but you're living in the present. You are alive. Somebody ought to thank God right there. Let's show you how you ought to praise God. CNN recently featured a story of how a poor black woman saved enough money to purchase herself a home in Silicon Valley. She loved her new home. She kept the inside clean and the lawn mowed in an effort to get the unwanted people out of the neighborhood. The neighborhood association got together with a local bank and established a law that allowed a home to be foreclosed if the owner did not pay their association dues. For some reason or another, the little lady could not pay her $500 associate dues. And as a result, the bank foreclosed on her house and sold her house that was worth over $550,000. They sold that house to 2 lawyers for $10,000. The new owners threw her stuff out of the doors and out of the windows, and she became homeless and had no place to go. But look at this. Though she was homeless, CNN showed this woman in church on a Sunday morning praising God. She danced up a storm. She danced so until her dancing disturbed the minds of 9 brilliant lawyers who were watching on TV. The lawyers took her cause to court and they got her property back, restored her. Those 2 lawyers even had to pay her some money back. Whatever the situation, when you can't do anything else, you praise the Lord and heaven will decipher what you need and take it from there. Is there anybody say every hour, every minute, every second of the day, I'm going to give God praise and let God deal with the rest of my troubles? Said I reckon that consider the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing to the glory that will be revealed in us. Worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Hope will allow God's glory to be revealed. In time, God's glory will be revealed, but like a painting of a good artist, it will be covered until the time of its reveal party. And so God is setting someone up with all the changes that you've been through for your reveal party. God is setting someone up with the struggles and the suffering that you've had in this life to have a reveal party when folk will wonder how you made it through what you made it through. He's setting you up for a reveal party, and I can see the painting and the canvas, and I can see the covering, and everybody's enjoying good cocktails and hors d'oeuvres and appetizers, but they're waiting for you to be revealed. And somebody in here, God's saying, with the suffering and the pressures that you've been through, don't worry about it. He's setting you up. I heard the word when it says he'll prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies. You wouldn't have a table prepared if you didn't have no enemies that would be able to eat at the table. Somebody ought to look at your neighbor and say, get ready for the party. Get ready for the party. I'm about to be revealed. For some reason, we have to understand that this revealing is God's doing. God has the time and the place when he's going to reveal the hope that has been in you that will come out to become reality. Your hopes are not in vain. Your hopes are for a future time of God's glory. Your hopes are for what God has in store for you. I know sometimes we think of people's hopes as being nothing. But God has a way of moving through your hope to get you to a place that you will trust him with what you want and desire. For some reason, when I would be home for the summer, I would end up watching Days of Our Lives. Every day at about 12:30, I would end up in my grandparents' living room on the floor, Days of My Lives. And sometimes I would watch it, but some of the best sleep I got was doing those stories. I don't know what it was about the stories, but I just so happened to be watching with a favorite couple of the show, Bo Bradley and Hope Williams were together. I remember this episode so well. I remember this episode which Bo was severely injured and ended up in a coma. Anybody remember that? And as Bo lay in the hospital, Hope sat by his side, praying and telling him how she couldn't live without him. and how she could not pull through this. He had to get past the circumstances. And so she just kept recalling the past, and that she stayed by his side. She kept recalling all that they had gone through. As Hope spoke about many things, they made it through together. Surprisingly, Bo could hear her on that hospital bed, and he began to recount in his own mind some of the stories Hope mentioned. Though he could not respond, he was there thinking about her, hearing her talk about her. He started to remember those stories Hope mentioned, and miraculously Bo woke up before the end of the show. It shocked everybody because the doctor said he wouldn't make it, and as everyone celebrated, Bo was asked what brought him back, and Bo said he wanted to give up. He wanted to throw in the towel. He wanted to let go, but he couldn't because Hope wouldn't let him go. Come here. Call me a hopeless optimistic, but there's something about hope that won't let me go. Hope keeps talking to me and keeps telling me things, and I just can't let go. Every time I wanted to throw in the towel and give up, every time the pressures of life came caving in, I wanted to let go, but hope's been talking to me. Do I have a witness in here? And hope has helped me to make it. There's been times I've been on the ledge of the building about to jump off, but hope talked me down. Is there anybody that's been like that? There have been times that I had the gun loaded and almost to my head, but hope talked my finger off the trigger. Is there anybody in here that's been like that? Is there anybody been in here? There was times that I had the pills in my hand, swallowed the pills, but hope made me regurgitate, and God brought me back because hope wouldn't let me go. Is there anybody here that says that's not my story, but I've had some hopes and I've had some dreams and I've had some visions, and God has been talking to me, and hope won't let me quit. Hope won't let me go. Hope is going to see you through this present time, and hope's going to get you to your future. Do I have anybody say I can't stop hope getting in my head? Hope keeps talking to me. Hope keeps pulling it out of me. Hope keeps pressing me to keep on pushing forward, to keep on